Yeah, should have. All right then, champs. Let's get into this one. Got a great video for you today. How to day trade while working your job. Now, this is something which I have had to make part of my routine in my day, and how it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task, and it's something which I've had to work on, and I find it very difficult. Sometimes I do miss trades because I'm working. Now, I set alarms to make sure that I don't miss trades, but you set alarm and then someone will say something to you, and next thing you know, 10 minutes have gone by and you miss your entry. So it's a real task. And for me, the way I work it, because I basically work on my own, as you can see there in that video, I work on the roofs a lot. I've not really got anybody watching over me. Whereas if you're in an office working, well, that's a different story. And whatever situation you are in your work, you're going to have to work that out for yourself, how to get out of that, or how to make things work in terms of trading, whether that be that you literally only trade while, like, before work, or if you can manage to trade on your dinner somehow. For me, I trade at certain times if the entries appear for me. If a trading opportunity comes at my designated times, because I wait for a 4-hour candle close, so that's either at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., or 2 p.m. And after that, I don't trade. So my alarms will go off, let's say 2 p.m. At 2 minutes to, I'll look on my phone on TradingView, and then I'll see, right, well, the 4-hour candle has closed bullish in line with the directional bias. I'm looking for a trade now. And it's as simple as that. And then I'll spend however long, maybe I'll set a couple more alarms just to remind me, I need to keep checking. And that's how I work things. And, sometimes I spend a lot of time on my phone in work. But for me, my job isn't anywhere near as important as my trading. Trading is the most important thing to me. And, it wouldn't really happen because I do it in a clever way. And I've got no one to tell me not, well, you can't go on your phone. But anyway, you've just got to make something work for you in terms of how you can manage this process and make it work. Like, for example, for me, by only trading 3 times a day, or potentially trading 3 times a day, I don't have to look at my phone all the time. If there's a trade at 6 a.m., if the 4-hour candle at 6 a.m. closes bullish or bearish, and it aligns with my strategy, well then, I can trade before work. That's one time. If it's at 10 a.m., well then, I've got my alarm for 10 a.m. and that's when I'll trade if there's an opportunity there. And if there's not, well then I don't need to look at the charts for another 4 hours, and I'll come back at 2 p.m. when my alarm goes off. And if there's a trade, then I will pay attention. If not, then I move on with my day. 3 times a day you need to look at the charts. You don't need to be sat there all day every day. And when I found this out by using only the 4H time frame as my directional bias and the 5-minute for my entries, my whole life changed in terms of trading. I don't have to be a slave to the charts all the time. And when you do that, you make errors, in my opinion, sometimes, especially while you're trying to work. It's just not, it just doesn't really work for me, that, especially because I'm always on the move. It's really difficult for me sometimes because I'm trying to do things, people are talking to me, and I'm looking at TradingView, I'm on MetaTrader, I'm doing all my stop loss, all this, and it can be quite confusing. Anyway, so if you're day trading and you want to day trade while in work, think of a process. Now, with that being said, here are some trades, and I will show you my strategy of how I get into trades daily using this strategy. And this really works for me. So this is where we're up to. There's 2 trades. I took a trade yesterday, which I've not shared yet. I took a trade today. Yesterday was a break-even day. Today, I lost 1 hour. The markets were choppy today. I thought, I'm just going to go for it just to drill something into my mind if I see the setup, just take it. Win or lose, we carry on. No bad feelings about it. Now, I really do apologise if my camera is a little bit laggy. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to turn this camera off, I think, just to make this a little bit better. So, camera's gone. Let's focus on the charts. All you need is my voice. That is the most important thing in this situation. So, yesterday's setup. Now, something which I keep considering, especially for GU, I would have made a lot more profit recently if I'd have just gone for 1R on these setups. Just 1R. Is this today's? That's not today's trade, which I took. This must be another setup. It's a different setup. Let's go to yesterday's trade. There we are. Yeah, if I'd just gone for 1R on a good few trades, I'd have made a lot more money than trying to target 2R. Same with this. Same with this on Tuesday. If I'd have gone for the 1R, I'd have hit take profit. With this one, well, I think I'd have hit take profit anyway, potentially. No, I wouldn't. I think he actually went through this one. Anyway, 1R is not a bad thing. Risking 1 to gain 1 isn't a bad thing if that 1 comes in often. And I seem to find that I can definitely make 1R quite easily. 2R, it just tends to be a bit of a, I don't know. I mean, I've got this to work for 3R, but just taking 1R, not being greedy, get in, get out, move on with your day. So this was yesterday's trade here. This is based on, let me go into this chart because it's much, much cleaner. So if you look at this market structure, you can see we've had a downtrend, we've consolidated, price started pushing up, we've started breaking out of key areas within the market, like so, which you can see here. Price started breaking out of this key area of resistance here, and then we've pulled back. So now this tells me with this, now we're now creating a higher high, higher low, higher high. And now, when I come to the chart, the 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. candle, you know, I only use the 4H, my directional bias. You can see we've consolidated and then we've broke out of this key area here. The buyers have clearly stepped into the market. We're breaking and closing above structure. With that being said, I will then say to myself, the 4H is up. The market structure is up. The buyers are back in the market clearly. I'm going to go onto my 5-minute time frame. Now, I can't actually remember exactly how I got into this trade, so we're going to go through this together. So I mark out the last 5-minute candle of the last 5-minute candle of the 4-hour candle. So this is the close, and this is the body close, if that makes sense. The final candle in the 4H of the 4-hour candle, and this is the close of it. So what I want to see is price to pull back to create a wick, whether it be down here into this area of support. Ideally, that would make sense. We want to see price to pull back, create a wick, because price tends to, which I will show you now before we move in a direction, create a wick before the move. You see it time and time again. Sell bias market. Next candle, it pulls back, it creates that wick, and then it moves. The next candle pulls back, creates a wick, then it moves. And you see it's time and time again, we create a wick before we move. Most of the time. You will get some candles where they don't, but you see a wick, wick, wick. All got wicks on, mostly. This one doesn't, but, you know, it's not always the case. But when you bear that in mind, when someone told me this, I'd never realised it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. The candle pulls back, we create a wick, and then we're getting in with momentum as the buying pressure steps back into the market. So let's have a look. So now, sorry, just had to pause that there. So as I was saying, so now this candle, you see it's pulled back below this line. This line signals or symbolizes the last candle of the 4-hour candle. So anything below this line is the new 4H creating a wick. So I'm actually just going to go on the 1-minute time frame. Now, when I went onto the 1-minute time frame, I tend to do this quite a lot. I look on the 1-minute time frame, I'll find structure. So you can see we've pulled back, we've created a wick, the buying momentum has stepped back in. And this is where I got into this trade. So I'm going to put my stop loss here, below this area. Price has nearly pulled into our area of support. The bullish momentum is stepping back in, and let's have a look. So we would have been triggered in on that. We'll be going through our 1 to 2, which is there. So we're triggered in. Would have gone break even. Go break even at 1 to 1, like so, 1 to 1. So we'd have gone break even at this point, and then we're hoping to get that bullish continuation. And of course, we got stopped out. So if we'd gone to that 1 to 1, well, that'd have been money in the bank. So that was that first trade. Now, like I said, I used the 4 hour and the 5 minute. Sometimes I go down to 1 minute just to see if I can get the entry clearer, because obviously these 5 1 minute candles in a 5 minute candle, and sometimes you will lose your entry if it goes too quick on the 5 minute. So that was that trade. We'll now go on to today's trade, which I lost 1 hour on, 1%. Actually, it was a little bit over. It was my mistake. I used too big of a lot size, only slightly. It was slightly over one. It was like 1.25%, and 1.2% I lost. So this was today's trade. Now, today's trade, the idea was based on this. Overall, the market's been pushing up. Now, I knew that with this bearish momentum, that it would, the sellers have clearly been quite strong here. But then we're failing to break lower. The bullish momentum is stepped back in. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for the buy. The buy made sense in my mind because I just wanted to target this, hoping that we'd get a nice run up. We started breaking out of structure on the lower time frame, and I just thought, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Now, price was ranging, but we had broke out of this key area here, this being a higher low, a lower high, I should say. And, and we broke out here, pulled back, and then price started to push again. So with the 4 hour candle closing bullish, I thought, let's go for it. So anything again, same applies here. This symbolizes, the horizontal line symbolizes the last 5 minute candle of the 4 hour candle, and this line represents the close of that. So I just wanted to see price to pull back, which you can see now. So we started pulling back, we created the wick, bullish momentum started to come back into the market. I placed my buy stop entry, and I got triggered in here. So this was the trigger in drawdown, and we actually was saved by this, and we started pushing up. I thought, well, happy days. We may be in for a TP or whatever. I was only going for a 1 to 1 on this one as well. And yeah, that was that. We got stopped out. But there's no hard feelings about this. No hard feelings. I just wanted to just drive it into my mind. You take the trade. Now, there was a trade, I think was it this morning? No, I'm not going to get involved in it. But you can see here, I backlog all my trades that I take. I log all my trades on one of my charts, and then I can go back and I can analyze every single trade which I've either took or thought about taking. And then I have my other chart just for a clear chart so I can see what's going on. But you need to make sure that your MetaTrader lines up with the chart that you are analyzing. Otherwise, you might start getting a bit confused with what is actually going on. And that is basically it. They're the two trades from yesterday and today. There were some other trades which I did look at, but we won't get into them. This video is getting a bit long, 15 minutes. But this is how I trade on a day-to-day basis. My alarms go off at, say, whatever time it was yesterday, the 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. candles. So my alarm goes off at 9:58, and I've got another one set for 10:05. And that is, I just get into the charts and I look for my entries. Anyway, I won't go on too much longer. It's a long video, and I know that the less length, the better for you viewers. You want to get your knowledge, see what's been going on, and get on with your day. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover. We're getting there, people. We're getting there slowly. The dream is coming true. No stopping. It's all or nothing this time, boys. Take care, everyone. See you in the next vid.